Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto 2 Blue Vortex discussion. Today, I want to talk to you guys about why the cliffhanger ending that we got with Kawaki holding Amado up like a bully, taking his lunch money, or the FBI showing Diddy photos of the crates of baby oil that they seized. The entire ending has set the stage for the most epic of downfalls for Kawaki that we've seen for any character in the Naruto franchise. For all too long, fans have asked that question of how did Kawaki go from the boy who was so caring for Naruto and so concerned for Boruto to becoming a monster who sealed away Naruto and seemingly destroyed Konoha and was ready to take Boruto out according to the flash forward sequence. Since that moment 9 years ago when Boruto chapter 1 dropped, which Jesus Christ, 9 years, we finally appear to be getting answers as to how we got the version of Kawaki that fans have been calling Purple Scarf Kawaki. Join me in today's newest Naruto Explained video where we unpack the significance of Purple Scarf Kawaki potentially being born in the upcoming volumes ahead of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. Kawaki's transformation into the cold and dangerous individual glimpsed in the flash forward of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. It reflects a tragic culmination of his past traumas, his personality, and overwhelming power that he inherits from Isshiki Otsutsuki. The possession of Isshiki's full combat capabilities dramatically shifts Kawaki's role in the narrative, placing him on a trajectory that parallels both the philosophical and mythological warnings from Japanese Buddhism, Shintoism, and folklore. So allow me to break down what I mean here. So Kawaki's personality and this dangerous ideology, Kawaki's actions that can all be traced back to his upbringing under Jigen and Isshiki, ingraining into him the belief that power equals to control and survival. Kawaki has a consequentialist mind state. His focus is on achieving results regardless of the moral boundaries. It is central to why acquiring Isshiki, in particular his power, makes him so dangerous. It is a key aspect of his personality, being amplified in terms of danger. So power justifies actions. Kawaki's belief is basically might makes right. It leads him to impose his will on others, as seen by his willingness to frame Boruto and seal away Naruto. He does not shy away from actions if they align with his perception for the greater good. The emotional desperation is also there. His love for Naruto as a surrogate father, it blinds him to the flaws in his actions. Sealing away Naruto, it was an emotional decision born from the desperation to protect Naruto, not so much a rational plan to ensure lasting peace. He just thinks, hey, I'll kill Boruto, I'll kill Code, I'll destroy the Ten Tails, nobody has to worry for anything. Then I'll let Naruto kill me, not thinking about what happens next. It is a selfish mind state, something that you expect from a consequentialist as well as somebody as young as Kawaki. The loss of moral restraints is also there. Kawaki has repeatedly crossed moral lines, such as killing Boruto, albeit temporarily, and Boruto did say, hey fam, go ahead and shove that big thing inside of me. His growing anger and frustration are eroding any remaining hesitation to go any further. Isshiki's power, it is now at his disposal. Kawaki's consequentialism and his belief in the supremacy of strength, it could turn him into the very oppressor that he originally despised. Isshiki's power, we can view it as a corrupting force, if you will. Isshiki's full combat power, it is unparalleled, especially when you read the manga version of Baryon mode Naruto versus Isshiki. The manga fights a lot closer than what the anime showed you. There's a reason why Kashi and Koji saw a timeline where Baryon mode didn't necessarily work. Allowing Kawaki to impose his will, it's going to go unchecked. This power possesses and poses several dangers. Overwhelming strength, for example. Even Boruto, under Momoshiki's control, acknowledges that Kawaki's power is sufficient to kill him. This demonstrates how Kawaki's strength now rivals, if not surpasses, the mightiest shinobi, Momoshiki controlling Boruto's body with the Karma Seal, version 2. It is a corruptional power. Possessing power of this magnitude, it fosters an authoritarian mind state. Kawaki might begin to view himself as an arbiter of justice, believing only he can ensure peace. echoing Isshiki's tyrannical nature. It's a parallel to Isshiki. Isshiki saw himself as a god entitled to reshape the world according to his will. His will in particular was, hey, all of y'all are food, get in line. Allow yourselves to be nutrients for the chakra fruit and just die. Kawaki's mind state and his actions suggest that he's going to follow a similar path. Not the same path, but a parallel path. Becoming an antagonist driven by a warped sense that comes from power. The futility of Kawaki's vision is the next thing you have to look at. So Kawaki's desire to create this perfect world for Naruto, it is fundamentally flawed when you looked at it. I understand the why behind what he did, but it is severely flawed. The truth of the matter is that there are going to be eternal threats. The ninja world's history, as it is, it shows that peace, it is always temporary. Even after Naruto's triumphs, new threats like more Otsutsuki continue to emerge. Sealing away Naruto, it didn't eliminate those dangers. It only isolates him from a world that Naruto once protected. You also have to look at it from this perspective. Human nature is not being factored in. Kawaki's vision ignores the inherent unpredictability and conflict of human nature. By trying to shield Naruto from harm, Kawaki denies the reality that life's challenges are what give meaning to Naruto's ideals of perseverance and unity, and it's because Kawaki has never truly understood what it means to be a shinobi, despite the fact that he idolizes the greatest shinobi in history. Weakening Naruto's power is the next thing. So Kawaki, his rationale stemmed from that. The perception that Naruto's no longer strong enough to protect himself. However, this underestimates Naruto in terms of his value as a symbol for hope and diplomacy. It can't be measured by raw strength, but for somebody like Kawaki who views might as right, he can't grasp this. Think of Kawaki like your typical battle shonen fan who just wants big explosions, and they think if things don't go boom, boom, bam, bam, and you don't destroy a wall with a single punch, you're suddenly weak. It's pea-brain size reading comprehension. But thankfully, you guys watching this video, you all are part of that enlightened group. So Japanese mythology and the religious parallels are the next thing you have to look at. So Kawaki's journey and actions, they resonate with the themes of Japanese Shinto, Buddhism, and folklore. The Shinto themes of balance and hubris. So in Shintoism, harmony between forces, it is vital. Kawaki's desire to control and perfect the world, it disrupts this balance, paralleling the myths of figures who attempted to overreach and they're punished for their arrogance. And Kawaki is arrogant. Notice how when he learns about Jiren, etc., he's like, yo, just get me the information about this Jiren guy and I'll kill him. I don't need Boruto. You see how easy it was for him to say, we just need this information and let Boruto get killed? Arrogance. The Buddhism warnings against attachment and power also have to be factored in. So in Buddhism, attachment leads to suffering. Kawaki's obsessive attachment to Naruto, it drives his descent, and his newfound power is a manifestation of the corrupting influence of worldly desires. Isshiki's power, like many mythological gifts, they represent temptation and spiritual degradation. The Japanese folklores that showcase overwhelming power also are something you have to kind of look at. So you got stories like Yamada no Orochi. They warn against unchecked power, something that the Naruto franchise has used that story several times. Kawaki's transformation into an Isshiki-like figure, it mirrors a lot of those legends where individuals are consumed by their might and they become monstrous and ultimately slain. In this case, because it's Naruto, they will be redeemed. It is setting the stage for Kawaki's fall. Kawaki unlocking Isshiki's full power. It sets the stage for him to become the next Isshiki figuratively through several ways. Isolation. Kawaki's actions are going to alienate him eventually from everyone, making him increasingly reliant on his own strength, because you get to a point where you're so strong, the only thing you understand is strength. It is a core conflict that you have in Jujutsu Kaisen with characters like Gojo and Sukuna. No spoilers. This mirrors Isshiki's solitude as a godlike figure detached from humanity. Imposing order through force is also there. Kawaki's belief that he must reshape the world for Naruto's safety, it could lead him to view any type of dissent as a threat, justifying oppression. Basically, the birth of a tyrant. Hence why, again, I'm probably gonna have Kawaki with the Hitler mustache on here, like I did a few years ago, and if people get mad at it, you can always suck my left nutsack if you get mad. It's just a joke. Get over it. The loss of humanity is the next thing you have to look at for Kawaki, and it's tragic. As Kawaki relies on more of Isshiki's power, his humanity could erode, transforming him into a cold and calculating force of destruction. This is also what makes Boruto's dream to restore the Uzumaki family so very important. It is a key part to Boruto's hero's journey. Boruto's desire to restore his family, including unsealing his parents and bringing Kawaki back into the fold despite Kawaki's actions, it is an embodiment of Boruto's resilience, his empathy, and his hope for redemption, both for himself as someone who is viewed as being a wanted criminal, as well as Kawaki, an actual criminal. However, this goal becomes exponentially more challenging with Kawaki's growing power, which not only complicates the reconciliation, but also heightens the stakes for Boruto's hero's journey. Let's explore this dynamic. Boruto's desire to restore the Uzumaki family. The Uzumaki family has an ideal that you have to remember. So Boruto views the Uzumaki family as being a symbol of love when you look at how he's written, in particular when it comes to unity and resilience, values that Naruto has upheld throughout his life. Restoring this ideal after Kawaki's betrayal, it reflects Boruto's desire to rebuild what was lost and extend the family's principles of forgiveness and understanding even to someone like Kawaki, who you could argue doesn't deserve it. Boruto's hope for Kawaki is the next thing you have to look at. Despite Kawaki's actions, sealing Naruto and Hinata away, framing Boruto for murder, and attempting to kill him multiple times, Boruto likely empathizes with Kawaki's pain and desperation. He's flat out said it at the end of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. He understands why Kawaki was so annoyed with him at times now. Boruto does not deem Kawaki as being irredeemable, but just as someone who can be saved. It parallels Naruto's unyielding belief in redeeming Sasuke. Hence why Sasuke told Boruto, hey, this is a fight between brothers. Hey fam, you got to walk the same path that your father did. The conflict between power and redemption, that is what makes this so beautiful. Kawaki's escalating power is going to make it harder for Boruto to reconcile his desire to save Kawaki with the necessity of stopping him, because Kawaki is only going to get stronger, just as Boruto's only going to get stronger. You think it's bad now that both of them could just unzip their pants and Madara would explode from the shockwave? It's going to get even crazier. The power that Kawaki gains, the more that he gets, the more destructive his actions become, forcing Boruto to consider whether forgiveness is still possible. That's going to be where we see that unyielding faith that Boruto has in Kawaki. And it's going to be so refreshing to read because Boruto is way more sarcastic than his father is. The challenge of Kawaki's growing power and that escalating threat that he's going to represent. With Isshiki's full combat potential at his disposal, Kawaki's going to become one of the most powerful beings in the history of the Naruto universe. His strength combined with this cold, consequentialist mind state, it turns him into a formidable adversary. Each additional leap in power that Kawaki solidifies, he's going to acquire a position of being the ultimate obstacle for Boruto to overcome to reach his goals. You also have to look at the loss of balance in the relationship. Kawaki's power, it creates a vast disparity between himself and Boruto. In the past, the conflicts are grounded in emotional and ideological struggles. Now Kawaki's raw strength, it could make their dynamic one of a predator versus prey, shifting the focus from whether or not Boruto could keep up with Kawaki's might to Boruto said, if Momoshiki takes over, go ahead and kill me, implying Kawaki might be stronger and Kawaki ultimately wants to kill Boruto. Kawaki's inability to be reasoned with makes him that much more dangerous. The more powerful Kawaki becomes, the less likely he is to listen to reason. Isshiki's power is going to embolden his belief that might makes right, reinforcing this idea that his vision for the world, it is the correct one and it must be imposed by force, regardless of Boruto's objection. This is what makes Boruto's hero's journey and Kawaki as the ultimate challenge so refreshing. Boruto, when you define the hero's journey he's walking down it, a hero's journey often culminates in confronting a seemingly insurmountable challenge, one that tests the hero's physical, spiritual, emotional, moral limits. For Boruto, Kawaki represents all of that, embodying the themes of betrayal, redemption, and power. Facing an equal and an opposite as a rival is what makes it work. Kawaki's peak power cements Boruto in a position where Kawaki is his ultimate rival, akin to how Sasuke served as one for Naruto. Even though Naruto was stronger than Sasuke, they were still equals in several respects. Power isn't everything. However, unlike Sasuke, Kawaki's intentions, they aren't grounded in personal redemption, but in forcing and enforcing a vision of peace through control, making him an even darker foil for Boruto's ideals. Cementing Boruto's resolve will be the next step that you end up taking. Kawaki's overwhelming power is going to force Boruto to mature even more. To defeat Kawaki, Boruto's going to have to overcome his doubts, his fears of using karma, and his attachments while embracing his role as a protector of the ninja world, especially a protector from the shadows. This conflict will define Boruto as a true hero who balances the necessity of action with the hope of reconciliation. He has to go through this in order to become a Shadow Hokage. The philosophical and narrative implications, they are there. They're right in your face if you look at them. Boruto and the whole theme of the struggle of forgiveness, even if it doesn't fully apply to Boruto and it's more so people like Shikamaru, you have to look at it from this perspective. Kawaki's actions and power, they push Boruto to grapple with the limits of forgiveness. Is there a point where someone becomes irredeemable? If Kawaki's power leads to more destruction, Boruto must confront whether saving Kawaki is worth risking the lives of others. That makes the whole thing, I didn't think you would go this far, Kawaki, hit that much harder. Again, Kawaki will be redeemed, but we're going to see Boruto struggle. Kawaki as a representation of corruption. It's something that is being done right. Kawaki's transformation into a being of overwhelming power mirrors the corruption of Isshiki. His descent serves as a warning about the dangers of unchecked strength and the loss of humanity, a fate that Boruto must fight to avoid for himself and others. The thematic reflection of legacy is also there, something that, again, is part of the Naruto theme that you see in Boruto. In particular, Boruto's sub-theme of breaking free of one's familiar bonds and expectations. Boruto's journey to restore the Uzumaki family symbolizes his commitment to his father's legacy of hope and perseverance. Even though he's trying to walk his own path, he's walking a parallel path to his father as well as his mentor. Defeating Kawaki without succumbing to hatred or despair is Boruto's ultimate test, proving he can carry forward Naruto's ideals in his own way. And it's that key part that is important, in his own way. Again, breaking free of one's familiar bonds and expectation. The mythological parallels are also there. In Shinto stories, redemption and struggle, they are abound. In Shinto stories, broken relationships often symbolize imbalances in nature that must be restored. Boruto's struggle to save Kawaki reflects the need to heal not only their bond, but the world's balance being disrupted by Kawaki's actions. In Buddhism, you again have the warnings against power and attachment. Kawaki's obsession with creating this perfect world for Naruto, where he can walk down the street and eat Ichiraki ramen in peace, is a form of attachment, which Buddhism teaches leads to suffering. Naruto is a story about samsara and the cycle of samsara itself. Boruto, by contrast, he must embody detachment, not the apathy, but instead learning to let go of illusions, such as the idea that he can fix everything without consequences, which goes back to another sub-theme of Boruto. If Naruto was a story about samsara, Boruto is a story about reaching enlightenment, about reaching nirvana. The folklore aspect of unstoppable foes, you got stories of like gods like Susanoo defeating Amado no Orochi. It echoes Boruto's journey. Susanoo being something that you could look at and say it makes sense for Boruto to go down that journey, given who Sasuke is to Boruto, and Sasuke being someone who possesses Susanoo. In these tales, you have a hero who faces a foe who seems invincible, requiring not just strength, but also cleverness, persistence, and moral clarity to prevail. The thing that you really have to look at here too is that Kawaki's acquisition of Isshiki's power, it amplifies the difficulty of Boruto's goal to restore the Uzumaki family and ultimately redeem Kawaki to be part of that family. This power symbolizes the ultimate challenge for Boruto, solidifying Kawaki as a peak adversary in Boruto's hero's journey. The conflict is not just physical, but it's also moral, forcing Boruto to navigate the themes of forgiveness, redemption, and the corrupting nature of strength. Ultimately, this struggle will define Boruto's legacy as a main character, marking a transformation from being just Naruto's son to being a hero in his own right. In conclusion, I'll circle back and say this: Kawaki's journey is a tragic tale of good intentions corrupted by power and desperation. His transformation into a cold figure in the flash-forward sequence reflects the dangers of unchecked strength and the futility of trying to control a chaotic world. By acquiring Isshiki's power, Kawaki risks becoming the very embodiment of the might makes right philosophy he once hated, setting up a gripping narrative of conflict, loss, and struggle to retain one's humanity amongst overwhelming power. If you enjoyed this video and you want to hear more in-depth stuff, I strongly recommend checking out some of the video essays that you see here on the left side of the screen, or going over here on the right side of the screen to check out my Anime Explained channel, where I do the same thing but for non-Naruto content and without a lot of the theory aspect.